Welcome back to the Anger Man podcast with Jason and Greg. So, David Benavidez had a successful title defense this past weekend, putting it all on the line against David Morrell. This was a fight that David Benavidez did not have to take. This is a fight that David Morrell didn't have to take. But they both decided to take this fight because both fighters have been avoided, and it was a path that they needed to take in order to get to the next level in terms of their career. Now, we know that David Benavidez on several occasions mentioned that he would be interested in facing the winner of Beterbiev versus Bivol. And recently, Turkey Al-Sheikh took to his social media account to state that the winner of that fight would be in line to face the winner of Beterbiev versus Bivol. Now, I'm not quite sure why he's speaking in those terms, considering David Benavidez is tied to PBC and the other two fighters are tied to entities that are associated with Riyadh season. But he made the comment anyway. And as far as I'm concerned, that's good news for fight fans. However, there have been a number of fans that have suggested that David Benavidez may be willing to duck the smoke based off comments that David Benavidez made after the fight. Benavidez mentioned that, he would not necessarily be interested in going over to Saudi Arabia to face the winner of that fight because all of his fans are here in the United States. And he would want his fans to be present in order to get the opportunity to see him face the winner of that fight and potentially become the undisputed champion at 175 pounds. So fans pushed back on that and they said that David Benavidez is potentially ducking the smoke. Um, I think that's interesting, and it's something that I want to dive a little bit into. We talked a little bit about this on the live stream, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday. So make sure you come by and check us out where we have a live stream where we talk about different topics. But not only that, we also talk about, or we also open up our phone lines for you, the callers, the fans to call in. And also sometimes we'll open up the panel for fans of boxing to join as well so that we can have those discussions and dialogues. But we talked about this past weekend, and I can totally understand where David Benavidez is coming from. You're a fighter that has historically fought in the United States. That's where you want to continue to fight. That's where your fan base is. And to be uprooted from that environment and to go over to Saudi Arabia to defend your titles doesn't seem quite right for David Benavidez. Now, as I understand it, and I don't proclaim to be any kind of expert at what Saudi Arabia is doing in regards to their sports division, their entertainment division, but it feels like to me, the live golf tournaments and things of that nature, they're here in the States. They're not over in Saudi Arabia. It feels like the events that end up over in Saudi feels like it's just the boxing events. Now maybe I'm wrong. I have no idea, but just based off what I've seen, it feels like there's affiliation and association with UFC that still occurs over in the United States. Live is over in the United States. It feels like every entity that they're currently affiliated with, they still exist and operate in their normal environment, which is the country that they were, I guess, rooted in, invented in, whatever you want to call it. Except boxing. Boxing seems like it's been shifted and lifted, or lifted and shifted over to Saudi Arabia, which I can understand the hesitation from David Benavidez in that regards and not wanting to do that. I guess what it will ultimately come down to is whether or not David Benavidez is the A side in this particular situation. Now, that's an interesting discussion that we had on the live stream, and I'll probably put a poll up. I'll put a poll up in the live stream, and I'd be interested in seeing what a broader group of people would say in regards to this. But in my personal opinion, David Benavidez would be your A side in any event between Bivol or Beterbiev, and it's simply because he has been on pay-per-view multiple times. Um, he has been on pay-per-view against uh, Caleb Plant, Boo Boo, and now Morrell. So he has demonstrated that he can carry a fight card and be the A side. Now, I know some people will argue that that's potentially irrelevant in this particular situation because A side, B side is more so driven by the need to drive revenue and ultimately get everybody paid. And in a situation with Riyadh season, because Turkey Al-Sheikh is controlling the finances and most people are getting paid above and beyond what they can generate themselves, that really Turkey is the A side, and therefore the fight should be held wherever he thinks it should be held. If that is your argument, perfectly fine. I understand your argument. I'm not going to say it's wrong or right. I understand it. But if I'm David Benavidez, and historically we've known the A side and the B side, I'm going to push for the fight location to be in a location that, I'm interested in the fight being. I think another caveat to this, and something that I was going to address in another video, but I think I'll highlight it in this particular video, is Turki Al-Sheikh has positioned himself as a power player in the sport of boxing. Now, we've had complaints about other power players in the sport, whether it was Bob Arum, when he was the most powerful man in boxing, or Don King, Al Heyman. Now, Turki Al-Sheikh is positioning himself as a power player in multiple areas of the sport of boxing. He is, and I know a lot of people don't understand this, but he's affiliated with the sanctioning bodies. They have a current working relationship, business relationship. He is affiliated and associated with Top Rank, Matchroom, and Golden Boy, right? So if you are a fighter that's coming from an external entity, I would be a little bit concerned about going over to Saudi Arabia and having whatever judges over there uh, uh, officiating or judging a fight. I mean, Turkey Al-Sheikh could have influence on how the decision or outcome of a fight materializes, right? It's possible. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen, but we've seen fighters like Paulie Malignaggi accuse Al Heyman of being so powerful that he could influence the decision of a fight based off of the fighter being affiliated with PBC. So if we can make those types of comments with no evidence, then surely someone who is literally tied from a business perspective to the sanctioning bodies, the promotional entities, and all other aspects of boxing could affect the outcome of a fight depending upon what it is that that individual wants to see. That's possible. So if I'm David Benavidez, personally, I want to position myself in a way where I insulate myself from the possibility of Turkey Al-Sheikh or anyone being able to influence the outcome of a fight. And I personally would feel more comfortable if the fight was over here in the United States. So I don't think he's ducking any smoke. I just think he's being a smart business person and looking out for his own best interests. So that's my perspective on the matter. I'll be curious to hear what you have to say in this regard. I know I've seen this in a lot of different places on social media, Discord, comment section. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section in regards to this particular topic. Is David Benavidez ducking the smoke, or is it smart for him to push for a fight between the winner of Beterbiev and Bivol to be here in the U.S.? Let me know what you think. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast and Sports Media, and I am out.